Welcome to the Coffeyville City Commission meeting for Tuesday, November 28th, 2017. Tonight's invocation will be led by Pastor Matthew Fritsch, and please stand for the invocation and remain standing for the Pledge of Allegiance.
Let's pray. God, we thank you for this day that you have given us, and I pray your blessing on this meeting. I pray that your wisdom and guidance would be with us today. And I pray for the topics that will be discussed. I pray that you would guide our perspectives and our understanding on these things, that we can look at them in ways that are most efficient and best operate. And I pray that we would seek your wisdom in all things. And we thank you for this day that you've given us. These things we pray in Jesus' name. Amen.
Amen.
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. Tonight's consent agenda, the City Commission meeting minutes for Tuesday, November 14th, 2017, and 2017 appropriation ordinance number AO-17-22 in the amount of $4,892,167.75. Are there any questions or amendments from the Commission regarding these consent agenda items?
I have no question. I'd move to approve the consent agenda as presented.
Second.
Motion was made by Commissioner Taylor and seconded by Mayor Bauer to approve the consent agenda as presented. Mayor Bauer.
Aye.
Commissioner Doan.
Aye.
Commissioner Taylor.
Aye.
Commissioner Castler.
Aye. 2017 appropriation ordinance number AO-17-22A, Taylor Crane, in the amount of $575.75. Questions or amendments regarding this? Seeing none, I'll make a motion to approve AO-17-22 to Taylor Crane.
I'll second.
Motion was made by Mayor Bauer and seconded by Commissioner Doan to approve appropriation ordinance number AO-17-22A for adoption. Commissioner Doan.
Aye.
Mayor Bauer.
Aye.
Commissioner Castler.
Aye.
Commissioner Taylor.
Abstain.
Part of our regular agenda items, public hearing, special presentation, and proclamations. Tonight's chamber presentation by Candy Westbrook.
Well, first of all, thank you, Commissioners, for allowing me to come today and tell you a little bit about the Chamber and how we are involved in the community and the city. Along with myself as the Executive Director, we do have two other staff members. We have Brooke Brown, who's kind of the life of the Chamber. She does pretty much everything in our office, and she's here tonight. And then Samantha Kudrick, and she is the Director of our Visitors Bureau and handles all the convention and visitors. Well, I'm a visual person, and so I wanted to kind of give you just a review of what the Chamber does kind of in a typical year. So I have a little flyer.
Thank you.
And I won't go through all the details tonight. You can take this home and review it and look at it. And if you see something and you want more information or have questions, just give me a shout. I'm happy to send something to you or come back at any time during the year. But I did want to just kind of hit on a few of those highlights tonight. On the left-hand side, just kind of has our year in review by the numbers, so you can kind of get a good picture of what we do at the Chamber. Right now we have 223 members in the Chamber, 27 brand new members this year, and a 90% retention rate. We're really been growing our social media. We do a lot of promoting of the city and the community and our business members. So we're up to 2,630 likes on our page, which means we have that many people following us. Of course, we do spotlights and ribbon cuttings throughout the year. We had 14 ribbon cuttings so far just this year. And I've talked to each of you about this, but one of the neat things that we had this year happen was we received a grant from the Kansas Leadership Center, and that's worth $25,000 to send various community and business leaders in Coffeyville to leadership training. So we're excited about that. That's going to be a great opportunity, I think, for Coffeyville.
When did you find out about that?
About 2 months ago. So we went up and met with them in October. Kendall went with me and kind of strategized how many people we could send. So
Well, that's good. I guess I might have missed it. I don't know. But that's good. I don't
Yeah.
know how I forgot one, but anyway, good. That's good news.
yeah, it's great. We're very excited. So that's almost 40 different people that we can send to training.
That's
So
great. Do we get that every year, or
no, you have to apply for it.
have
So
we
this
got
will
it
be
in
the
years
first time.
past?
I don't think so. I don't think so. This is
Okay.
our first year.
This is good information, Candy.
So we're also right now in the middle of our Shop Local initiatives. We do a lot of promoting with trying to get people to shop here in Coffeyville instead of spending the money down the street, I guess, so to speak. So we just finished our holiday open house, which was a big event for our retailers. One of our retailers, in fact, say, what was it they said? By far, this is the greatest single retail day of the season for them. So definitely one of those things that helps the foot traffic and it helps our small businesses kind of grow. That kicks off our Christmas Bucks giveaway. We give away $4,000 in Christmas Bucks, which is money that's spent only here at participating businesses. Then along with that, throughout the year, we do chamber bucks that businesses can buy. And again, that money is only spent at participating businesses. So right there, you're talking just $12,000 alone that's just spent here in Coffeyville to try to promote shopping local. So those are some big events that we try to do every year. Something we started up this year too, we started doing workshops for our businesses, and it's open to any business in town, but for a fee, but for our business members, it's free. Everything from online marketing to business and accounting. I think we did one on customer service. So just workshops just to try to help our small businesses continue to grow and be successful. We'll continue to do those throughout the year. We also did professional headshots this year for our businesses so that they could have those, or small businesses could have that resource. So we'll be doing things like that throughout the year. And then we also serve as kind of the information hub for the city. We average about 80 phone calls a week and just random questions. Sometimes I think we're the phone book for most of the town, and I'm sure Cindy gets those calls too. But we do serve as a resource, everything from daycare list, rentals, meeting facilities, just different kind of relocation guides, all kinds of different resources that the community will call us and ask about. We do have a job board. We do employee orientations, referrals constantly to our business members. So just kind of serving as an information center for the community. Up at the top, just there's a couple highlights about the chamber and how we just have helped the businesses grow throughout the year. We do events all year long, but everything from, like I said, there's lunch and learns to we have an event called Coffee, News, and Networking. We average about 25 or 30 members that come every single week to that, so that's probably our most popular event. But like I said, we do things, everything from social media marketing, job postings, business loans. I do employee orientations for some of the companies in town. So just a little bit of everything that we try to do just to help our businesses. I did try this summer to go out to every single business and visit with them on site and find out a little bit more about who they are and what their needs are. 223 visits, it's kind of hard to get to all of them, so I didn't quite make everybody, but I did try to get to most of those businesses. A couple new things we worked on this year, of course. We have new flooring upstairs in our meeting room, and we're working on also trying to get a projection system set up there, and that room will be available for any business to use for free, or any member to use for free. We also worked on a new logo so that we could try to help with the Coffeyville branding here in the city. And so you're getting to see our new logo that we haven't even unveiled yet quite to everybody. So that'll be our brand new logo for the year.
This right here?
Uh-huh.
Looks good.
Yeah. We do events all year long. I'm not going to list and talk about all these that you see on here, but some of the ones we do, just to give you an idea, we do legislative forums and talks with various legislators or local legislators. For example, tomorrow we have a governor candidate coming in town, and we're hosting him. So that stuff happens year-round. In January, we have our annual dinner and awards, and that's a big event where we honor people in our community, Citizen of the Year, Business of the Year, different groups like that. So we're looking for nominations for those right now, so everybody Get your nominations in, I need those. We do the 4-H banquet, just all kinds of events. Of course, Christmas parade's coming up on Friday, we host that. And then a lot of people don't know that we serve as the office for the fair and rodeo. So that pretty much keeps us busy all year long, but especially in the summer months. And then along with just the regular chamber stuff that we do for the community and for our businesses, we also host the Visit Coffeyville Center at the chamber office. And as I mentioned earlier, Sam's our director, does a fabulous job promoting Coffeyville all over Kansas, but not just in Kansas, just all over the United States. Sam helps plan group tours all the time in Coffeyville. We have buses come through here all summer long especially, and so she helps coordinate all those. She also travels to trade shows all the time to promote Coffeyville. And it definitely makes a difference because we have a lot of visitors that come to Coffeyville. During the summer, for example, just to give you an idea, we had 2,172 visitors meet at the museum. Now, there's probably even more than that visit. I mean, that's just who go to the museum. But we have tons of visitors that come through Coffeyville on a regular basis. Almost that same amount will actually come and visit the Perkins Building, which is where the chamber offices are held. We give tours pretty much on a daily basis, which is kind of unique because a lot of chambers don't have that. They don't actually have visitors come to their offices. So it takes a lot of time, but it's awesome for us because we can actually sell Coffeyville a little bit to those visitors, get them to come eat. Sam's constantly getting them to go to a restaurant or shop or stay overnight if she can. So a lot of visitors that come through here. Majority of those are from 100 miles or away. So they're not just, down the road. And then over 15,000 this year has been spent in promotional ads and brochures just to highlight all of our attractions and our events here in Coffeyville and just kind of get more visitors to come to Coffeyville on a regular basis. So that's just like I said, just a few highlights of some of the things that we do at the chamber throughout the year and things that we try to do to help our community. Any questions on some of those?
I think the only one I had was, define membership. The membership, is that like one business, one member? Or is
Right.
it one business, multiple memberships?
Yes. So one business has a primary contact as their, but anybody in those businesses can come to our events.
Okay.
So.
But it's one business, one membership.
Right. So that's 223 individual businesses.
And how many businesses are in Coffeyville? Tough question.
Oh, yeah, I'm not sure about that. Probably close to 400 maybe.
Okay.
There's a lot of businesses that, what we find is, especially chains, cannot be chamber members. Their corporate offices don't
Yep.
allow that.
Okay.
So that's definitely a big hurdle that we always face, so,
Just curious.
yeah.
Yeah. Good.
Any
Any
other
other
questions?
questions?
No, sounds like you're doing great.
All
Yeah.
right,
Thank you, Candy.
thanks.
Thank you.
Yeah, it sounds like you guys are doing a great job. This is very informative.
It is.
Thank you.
Good handout. Moving on to new business, resolution number R-17-88, a resolution to execute an agreement with MTS Contracting to Tuck Point and Seal Municipal Building. City Manager Kendall Francis will make comments.
Mayor and Commissioners, back in September, Dennis Jacobs presented to you regarding what we're considering the second phase of City Hall restoration, and that was the need to tuck point and seal the exterior of City Hall. Following that meeting, we put out for bids for that project. We received 5 bids in total, and I believe the bid tabulation was provided for you in your packet. MTS Contracting submitted both the low base bid, which was the whole of the building except for the smokestack on the north elevation. And we put that out as an alternate bid, and they also submitted the low bid on the alternate. And as you can see in the tabulation, there was large discrepancies a little bit in the bids, but in researching, I've visited with Jason Cunningham, who is here tonight from MTS. about his bid, and they feel confident that it's accurate and complete. He's here to answer any questions, but staff is recommending that we approve both the base bid and the alternate bid in the amount of $51,150.
Well, I'm looking for it, and I might have a question. Jason, come on up, Jason, if you will. You're on camera, so when you speak in that, all the citizens in Coffeyville can hear you.
All right, thank you.
Tell us about, just so we'll know, tell us about MTS Contract and where you guys out of.
MTS Contracting is based out of Kansas City, Missouri, is our corporate office. We have 2 branch offices, one in Springfield, Missouri, and one in Des Moines, Iowa. We employ around 120 to 125 field employees in the company. Started in I believe 97. I've been with MTS for the last 4 years. Prior to that, I was with a competitor that bid on the project for 23 years.
Okay, I see. Well, I've always been interested in Tech Point work personally, and I'm anxious to see how that goes. But tell us real quick about that, our city project. Do you have to dig some of that out and go back in so deep? Tell us a little bit about the what happens, the structural side, the process. Thank you, Mayor. You know, so not only us, but the citizens, we'd like to know a little bit about how that's done. Don't go into it too deep, but
Yes,
what
sir.
would the average person want to know?
In the beginning, we would go through and clean all the substrates, the brick, the stone, the terracotta. At that time, we'd evaluate all the mortar joints in those facades.
So you say you clean, you power wash it?
Power wash it, yes, sir. Power wash it. And then we review all the mortar joints in those facades per the specifications. Any of those that are found defective would be cut back to a depth of 2.5 times the joint width, and then be cleaned.
How do you do that? How do you cut it back?
Power-operated grinders with diamond impregnated
So
blades.
what percentage of the building would you be doing that to?
We estimated about 5% of the building would need to be tuck pointed.
And the rest of it, you just leave it alone?
Yes, sir. Yep.
Why would some of those places need it and some not?
Just due to weather patterns, maybe. The building looked like it had been previously pointed in previous years. Maybe some of those areas didn't get properly pointed. I mean, it looked like it was a really good job that was completed, but it's hard to really say.
I see.
I mean, water can get in those areas. Freeze-thaw cycles in this area can cause them to pop out and to laminate. Stress, weather stress, heat, cold, thermal movements can cause that as well.
They might have used different materials and some of it softer. I mean, I don't know. Just, I always wondered that,
Yeah. Primarily,
Okay.
I would say weather patterns, majority of what I see on your particular building.
So did you come look at this project?
I did, yes, sir.
Did you get in a man lift and go up there and go over it?
No, we did not have a man left here to review it. It was all from the ground and done with binoculars.
So that's a good way. There's no problem with that.
No, that's kind of the industry standard.
I see.
We don't have I guess, we don't have it.
Dumb question. Have you ever got into one and then found out that with the binoculars wasn't such a good idea?
On occasion, there has been that, yeah. It's kind of the nature of the beast when you don't have a set of specific drawings pointing out the area.
But this one will be okay?
I think so, yes, sir.
Okay. I just wondered about that,
Right,
I've been around some of these buildings, I just wondered about that,
yep.
Okay, I don't have any other questions.
Okay.
I have a question. So you estimated, thank you for coming, but you estimated at 5%. You power wash it. Say it ends up being 7, 8, 10%. Where do we go from there?
That's the risk that we took when we provided an estimate that we will take care of those joints that need to be addressed at
Okay.
that point.
All right. Thank you.
You're welcome.
I mean, I guess we got man lifts over here. If you want to get up there and check it and make sure before we sign the contract, we'd be probably, I mean, that, you know, that's up to the engineering or whatever, but I'm not trying to jack the price. It might be cheaper, okay?
Right.
But, you know, I just want to make sure you're good, you know?
Yep. Yep.
So you're good with it?
We felt we were comfortable with
Okay.
it, yes, sir.
Okay. Good.
So with all that,
That's good enough.
any other questions from the commission? No. Okay. I'll make a motion to approve Resolution R-17-88 for adoption.
I'll second it.
Motion was made by Mayor Bauer and seconded by Commissioner Taylor to approve resolution number R-17-88 for adoption. Commissioner Castler.
Aye.
Commissioner Taylor.
All right.
Commissioner Dunn.
Aye.
Mayor Bauer.
Aye.
So Jason, where are you headed back tonight?
I live about 40 miles east of Pittsburgh, Kansas.
Okay.
Couple-hour drive.
Safe travels.
Thank you,
Yeah.
appreciate it.
It's not mandatory to stay for the rest of the meeting.
All right, great, thanks.
Thanks a lot, I appreciate
I'll
it.
be in
Thank
contact
you.
with you. Thank you.
Resolution number R-17-89, a resolution to execute an engineering services agreement with BG Consultants for general civil engineering. City Manager Kendall Francis will make comments.
It's a little warm in here. Excuse me.
Maybe a little bit.
If you don't mind, can we turn them just to...
Turn the fan on. No.
Switch.
Oh, over there? I thought I saw Chris do it right here. Thank you. There we go.
Well, that's
Thank you.
actually,
Sorry
that's
about
actually a typo, so my comment is going to be, I'm
It's
going to
gonna
turn
be-
it over to
That's
Thomas.
kind of what I was wondering when I saw him up there. So. It's his fault.
No, it's not your fault. Yeah.
Scratch it.
I just wanted to see if he was paying attention.
Yeah.
That one's on high and that one's on something else.
So we got to hear.
But I'm good if you guys are.
Go ahead, Thomas.
Good evening, Mayor Commissioners. Tonight we have before you a general engineering service agreement. We actually currently have 4 of these with 4 different engineering firms. Basically, we use these as on-call. We have maybe a company comes in and we're needing estimates for new utilities, relocations for anything like that. Those types of things, small things for that. We also use them a lot for pre-engineering for grants, as far as for applications and that type of thing. We've been working with BG on the Safe Routes to School Phase 1. They turned that around for us in about a week to 2 weeks to get the Phase 2 put in. We also are currently working with them on the 11th and Willow geometric improvement design. Everything's been going great. Jason with BG is actually here if you have any questions for him. But this just gives the city staff another resource to be able to use for planning purposes for civil engineering.
Okay. Well, you know, Jason's here. Where do you live, Jason? Come on up, Jason. Where do you live?
I'm out of Lawrence, Kansas.
Oh, Lawrence,
Yeah,
okay.
yeah.
Well, you came all the way down.
Came
And
all
I'll
the way
give
down.
you a couple seconds here to tell us what you do, what you've done for Coffeyville real quick, and how you can serve Coffeyville, if you don't mind.
Sure, no, I appreciate that.
Short and sweet.
Yeah, I'll keep it real quick and short and
Okay.
sweet. But the 2 projects that Thomas mentioned, I was directly involved with, so I've been helping you guys get through some of your infrastructure improvement projects, getting those down the road and out the door and out to bid. So certainly be heavily involved with the Safe Routes project as well, the design phase on that. I guess background myself, I'm an engineer, civil engineer. Our company, we've got about 80 folks in our company. We've got offices in Emporia, Lawrence, Hutch, and Manhattan. We've got architects, engineers, surveyors, mechanical, electrical, plumbing engineers. So a firm like ours, you get pretty much the full service of whatever your municipal infrastructure needs might be. It's at your fingertips there, and we can bring the experts in wherever you may need them. So
Good. Good, that's what I wondered.
it's all right.
Okay. You guys got any questions?
I have no questions.
Okay. Thomas, anything else, Thomas? Okay. Well, I'd make a motion to approve that 1789 as read. Let me get to it. R 1789 as read.
I'll second.
Motion was made by Commissioner Taylor and seconded by Commissioner Doan to approve resolution number R-17-89 for adoption. Commissioner Doan.
Aye.
Commissioner Castler.
Aye.
Mayor Bauer.
Aye.
Commissioner Taylor.
Aye. Now, we're gonna require Jason six round for the rest of the meeting.
Well, let's get through the next one. He may have a little bit to do with the next one too, so just got to read ahead a little bit. So, resolution number R-17-90, a resolution to authorize the execution of work order number 1 with BG Consultants for engineering services on the Safe Routes to School Phase 2 grant project. Superintendent Thomas Osborne will make comments.
Thank you again. This would be the first work order underneath the agreement that was just approved. It is for the Safe Routes to School Phase 2 grant, which is the construction grant. They would do the design, the surveying, and planning for getting those bid documents put out. So,
Do we have a timeline that we need for that? Are
can't
we in a?
remember we're shooting for the, I think it's the spring, is it the spring letting for?
Spring next year, I think it's
Yeah.
fall 2018 or did letting.
Okay.
I can't remember.
Weather pending.
Yep. Okay. Any other questions from the commission?
All that's above our head. I mean,
Yeah.
you got all these hourly rates, and just so the citizens know, you got Thomas, you guys know what you need and get it.
Yep.
It's up to you, you know.
Yeah,
It's,
this work authorization would be a not to exceed of $50,270.75, and it's 100% city required for the design phase construction.
Right.
How long has this project been going on for?
I don't remember when the first phase 1 was applied for. It's been 2 or 3 years.
Yeah, we applied for the Phase 1 really just shortly after I arrived. So that had been fall of 2015 is when the application the initial Phase 1 application would have went in, which was strictly the planning phase, with the award in 2016. We completed that. We received that Phase 1 grant, completed it, turned it around. Just
July, we had to turn it in.
yeah,
We got
July
notice
of this
about a
year, and we
month
were
ahead of
notified
the
about a
date
month
we put it
ago,
up, so.
2 months ago now.
So basically, the start of year 3 is where we're at on this whole entire thing.
Right, and it is like I said, it's a phased approach.
Right.
And the first grant was, I believe, 12,000 was the max, and that strictly was for
Yeah, master
planning.
design plans.
Yeah, master design plans for the Phase 2. And then again, we were awarded the maximum grant for the Phase 2 for the
Right.
construction.
If I remember right, this whole thing started just briefly the whole idea briefly started when Chris and I both got on commission, so it's been.
I do believe that it had been applied for in the past and was not funded, so.
these things take time. Well, good.
Can you tell me a little bit about the agreement that we're waiting on from KDOT? And
Yeah, the agreement, we've got to go ahead, get started. We've been awarded, we just don't have the actual legal document. That's what actually held us up on the Phase 1 grant we waited almost a year for the agreement to show up. And for that Phase 1 agreement, because it was participating for the design, we had to wait until we had that agreement before we could go out and get BG as our consultants. We had did a RFQ process at that point to select BG for that. And then from there, we were notified that, they moved it up by like 2 months, and we were notified on like first part of May, and it was due
1st of July.
1st of
essentially.
July, July 7th, I believe was the due date. And so we got everything turned around in seemed like 2 to 3 weeks. They turned it around for us, so.
Good.
thank you.
Any other questions? Seeing none, I'll make a motion to approve resolution number R-17-90 for adoption.
I'll second it.
Motion was made by Mayor Bauer and seconded by Commissioner Taylor to approve resolution number R-17-90 for adoption. Commissioner Taylor.
Aye.
Mayor Bauer.
Aye.
Commissioner Castler.
Aye.
Commissioner Doan.
Aye.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Thomas.
Safe travels.
Yep.
Jason, safe travels.
You can get home and watch the Toledo game.
Resolution number R-17-92, a resolution to adjust the city manager's employment agreement. City Attorney Paul Kreitz will make comments.
Commissioners, I really don't have many comments. I got a call from the mayor indicating that you all had discussed the city manager's salary and were in favor of increasing the salary to the amount reflected in the resolution. So here it is for your consideration.
Do you have any questions regarding this? I think we've discussed it. Any questions from you?
No.
Okay.
Do we want to, I mean, I didn't read the whole thing in print, okay, I should have, but I didn't. Did you guys do that? Is that what we talked about? Okay.
Yeah. Yep.
Okay, somehow I missed that one. I'm good with it.
All right.
I'd vote for that, yes.
Okay. Make a motion to approve Resolution R-17-92 for adoption.
I'll second it.
Motion was made by Mayor Bauer and seconded by Commissioner Taylor to approve resolution number R-17-92 for adoption. Commissioner Castler.
Aye.
Commissioner Doan.
Aye.
Mayor Bauer.
Aye.
Commissioner Taylor.
Aye.
City manager's report. You know I almost did something.
Mayor, Commissioners, try to go through, got a pretty good list. I'll try to get through fairly briefly. Just to give you a quick update on the building projects as normal. Obviously, we just approved the tuck pointing. City Hall, a lot of work still going on. We've had some delays a little bit with the electrical contractor who is doing both jobs, both City Hall and the emergency services. Is having a little trouble keeping up, supplying enough manpower. Fortunately, we're just about done, and the emergency services will allow them to allocate some resources back to City Hall. But they're moving forward in spite of that. Ceiling grids are up, and I gave Commissioner Taylor a tour this afternoon of the building. Cabinets are being installed. Most of the work is being focused on right now is in customer service. We are expecting flooring to start probably the end of next week, and it'll start on second floor on the southwest side and just kind of slowly move around the building. If you're there, you can tell there's still a lot of work to be done, but it does seem to be progressing well. The emergency services, of course, our walkthrough for our final punch list is next Monday, and we had talked with KDOT about them reconsidering their traffic study and their decision to not allow a traffic light. They have agreed to do that, but their timetable has been very slow. We have in fact, I spoke with them today to try to push them along to get some of the new data collected. They were wanting to wait until the facility was in operation for a month, and I tried to explain to them that it simply didn't matter. That didn't affect traffic flow or traffic patterns. Speaking with the individual who's in charge of that, he was going to authorize to go ahead and get the data collected, see if we can move that timetable up a little bit. I did take video of the site and traffic up and down 11th Street, and to try to illustrate to them, the site issues we have there, and sent that to them. Our original intention was to put up flashing caution lights east and west of the building, at a cost of probably about $10,000, give or take. But when KDOT decided to reconsider, we held off on those installations because we didn't want to spend $10,000 on that to turn around and spend $20,000 on a stoplight. So with the building being close to being occupied, we got a little bit of a conundrum. So I've been visited with Chief Roski today about some alternatives, possibly on a temporary basis exiting onto 10th Street if we need to try to avoid any collisions and do what we can to be safe. Now, of course, emergency services are expected to obey traffic laws, and obviously they would hold up for traffic coming through there. But we're working on a plan to try to minimize any kind of liability or any kind of problems that might be caused because of this delay. So, but again, I've reached out to Representative Kelly again to see if he can put some influence. He was very instrumental in helping us get to this point, and I'm sure he would do what he can to try to speed up the process. So we're working on that. Last meeting, you had indicated that you would like to have a tour of the facility as a commission before the furniture arrived. The last part of next week is probably maybe the best window of opportunity. The 6th, 7th, or 8th, so Wednesday, Thursday, or Friday, early evening. I just need to, if you guys could come up with a consensus so I can let Crossland know so we can, arrange to be able to get in the building.
What works for everyone?
And if it needs to be multiple nights, if only part of you were 2 one night and 2 the next night or something like that.
How early are you talking?
Pardon me?
How early in the afternoon?
We can do it in early evening. It doesn't have to be in the afternoon. But if it's going to be after, in the evening, we just need to make arrangements to be able to get in the building.
Well, to accommodate, Margaret said 6 o'clock, right? A little after.
Yeah.
So, I'm open for any 3 of those days.
Okay.
After 6 o'clock is fine.
I would prefer Thursday or Friday, if it doesn't cause a problem.
Thursday
Okay.
fine.
Thursday at 6? Work for you, Jim?
Yeah.
Okay. I'll send out a reminder to you guys tomorrow so you can get it on your calendar for certain. So, and I'll visit with Crossland about arranging that. This building, the sale has, the county has agreed to the terms. The closing is Thursday, and so we'll finalize that. Commissioner Brown asked that I express his appreciation to you for willingness to work with the county and to get this deal done. So.
We did get the wording in there that if
Yes.
they... Okay.
Yes, the wording that we talked about the last mission or last meeting, the county commission approved that.
Good.
Couple of things. The South Walnut train crossings was scheduled to be closed down for the work to begin, but that has been delayed by approximately a week or so before they close South Walnut. I think it's some issues with Atmos gas, not quite prepared. But that is coming. They will be closing down that to through traffic. That's going to allow us to do some work in the underpass area. In fact, crews were there today crack sealing some of those areas, but as we change traffic patterns there, it's going to allow them to do a little bit more work, so be mindful of city crews right there in the underpass. Speaking of street repairs, 9th Street, down here at 9th and Walnut, the crews replaced from that water leak. And we've been holding off making any repairs to the street itself, letting basically letting the ripple effect take place. That leak ripped up quite a large chunk of the underpavement there, so we were letting it all settle out and finish buckling till we made those repairs. So it's now newly concreted. We are going to go in and temporarily put stripes on it, but paint will not adhere to new concrete, and so it will be very temporary and probably be about 6 months, and we'll be putting in more permanent striping. So just for informational purposes. And then, speaking of water leaks, you may have noticed if you've been over on 8th Street in the area of Field Kinley, we have a persistent leak over there that we have not been able to truly locate the source of it. Crews have made several attempts potholing. It looks like we will probably be tearing up larger portions of it and replacing main till we can find that.
Is that the one by VNS? It's
Yes.
always just, for years, it's been like that, it seems like.
No.
Now, maybe that's an exaggeration, but it seems like it's been a long time that
And
that
we have
water has run
reoccurring,
across there.
it's old cast iron there.
Yeah.
So we do have reoccurring, but this one, it has been for a while, but we can't find a direct source yet. Then some of the other projects that we have started, just kind of updating it, the trash containers at the parking lot on 10th Street. Probably by the end of next week, we will start building the enclosure. We're looking at pricing between wood fence and chain link, and then putting in some kind of screening in that. But that's something we started a little bit earlier. We've just been slow to getting the screening built, but crews should be free by end of next week to start, and you'll start to see that coming about.
And speaking of that area right along there, maybe just, I don't know if it was our parking lot or if it was the one on the other side where Atmos had tore it, where they looked like they dug it up. Was that our parking lot, or was that on the other side, like where Cox Cable parking lot is?
Well, driving through that area this evening, I thought it was more on the Cox side, but I honestly didn't pay that close attention.
I didn't drive all the way down there. I just saw them working on it today, so I meant to drive down there and didn't.
But if it is ours, I mean, they will repair it, back to its original state. The light poles, we've been slowly getting the painting on the light poles done downtown, and by my count today, we have 19 left, so 61 out of 80 are completed. Just a thank you to Taylor Crane Rigging for loaning us one of their man lifts to assist with that. So
good.
Would like to make mention, Stephanie Richardson and Bob Roski both have just completed the Certified Public Manager program through the KU Public Management Center. Their graduation is going to be Friday. That's a year-long intensive training focused on public management and leadership, and so just wanted to make mention of that. And
Good for
unfortunately,
them.
neither one of them are here this evening, but maybe we'll hit them up at the next meeting.
Yeah,
So,
good for them.
Customer service office is closed tomorrow and Thursday from 8 to 1. We're doing some training, in-house training, so we're closing down the office so that they can attend the training here.
Okay.
Just more for the public's information right now. The second meeting in December, we have changed the date of that. Because of the holiday, we've backed it up to Thursday the 21st. And I say more for the public, but it's also for your benefit that you guys can make those plans now and make sure you remember that. And then finally, and Candy already mentioned it, the Christmas parade is Friday night, starts at 6 o'clock, and the city's proud to be the Santa float this year. So we'll be bringing up the rear with the most important person.
There you go. All right. Thank you. This time we'll open it up to comments from the public. The public is free to comment on items not listed on the agenda. Please address comments to the commission as a body and be mindful of others who may also wish to speak by limiting your comments to 3 minutes. Don't everyone jump up at once. Seeing no comments from the public, I'll move on to comments from the commissioners and staff.
Last week, I asked about we all came to the conclusion we wanted Tyson stuff on Channel 13. Is there any update on that? Or we just,
Well, there really, it hasn't too big an update because, oh, I'm sorry. There hasn't been a lot of new stuff put out. And so the simple answer is no, we haven't got anything on there.
There is the information about the grower, the
The-
poultry
okay.
grower meeting on
Yeah,
there.
there is I'm being told that she did put the new poultry growers meeting, that is December 14th at 3 o'clock. That's an informational meeting for farmers or people who have potential interest in being to have a grow farm. But as new information comes out, we will get it added to that.
Okay. So people that can hear on the TV there, that growers deal is when?
December 14th, 3 o'clock, and it'll be at the Spencer Rounds Theater at Community College.
Okay.
And that'll be the first one. We anticipate having another one, but that'll be the initial one.
Good.
I bet that gets a pretty good crowd.
We have had gotten emails from interested people who are asking questions, and I know that the Action Council has as well. So I would anticipate it being.
I bet that place is full,
Could be so.
or, half full or more. I
Right.
mean, that's probably a good place for it.
Yeah, I think
It'd
so.
be interesting, because a lot of those people that want to bring their family and stuff, that'll be interesting.
You gonna go?
I might.
Ask the question.
Yeah.
Any other comments?
At our last meeting, Mr. Fouts brought up a certain street, and we had told him that we would get it on the inspection list to be checked out. Has there been any follow-up on that?
Actually, Chuck Shively and Thomas
That side
and
street.
Jim Bradshaw and I had a meeting Monday about projects, but that was one that was mentioned, and we are looking at that. Yes.
Awesome.
I think.
Well, I got a chance to go through the city hall today with Ken, like he said, and, we're spending a couple $1 million on that thing total. It looks like we're getting our money's worth. I haven't had a chance to really dig into it too much, but it looks like we're getting a lot of work done over there. I can only imagine what we'd have if we just spent, 5 or 6 or 8.5, I think, what the bid come in originally. I mean, it really looks nice. The heat and air's all new. We talked about it. There's stuff on the first floor, and, downstairs, there's quite a few rooms. It looks to me like it's gonna be a pretty nice, like we're getting our money's worth, so to speak, is what I wanna say. I'm not a construction guy, okay? But it looks like it's gonna be pretty nice. I was pleasantly surprised. You guys might wanna get with Ken and go
Yeah,
through it, but
I'd like to.
might wanna wait a week or two, but it's kinda nice to see now,
The other one.
cause it's,
how do we do both? We're not going to.
yeah.
We could do both of those that
Yeah,
night.
The problem with
They're
doing
not there.
City Hall
Yeah.
in the evening is lighting, because we only have.
Yeah.
Flashlights?
Yeah,
Yeah,
you
we
want,
only
you
have
want to take your
construct-
flashlight with
Yeah.
you, okay? I mean, there's-
It would be better to see it during an afternoon
Yeah.
when there's light out.
Okay.
Yeah, I kind of wished I'd taken my flashlight
Yeah.
with me. I mean, you can see it, but Kendall was constantly getting his.
When do we think we'll have lighting
you
in
know.
it to where? Couple weeks?
Yeah, let me visit with Jason from Decker, and once he gives me like I said, the electricians have been the holdup, so that's a little bit of the delay on the lighting. But I'll try to get a time frame when they expect it, and then we can schedule something.
Okay, good. So, only a couple things, just questions more than anything. So we had talked a while back when we installed all the new stop signs and everything downtown, we were going to look at the lights also.
Mhm.
Have we pursued that any further?
Yes, that is part of the JCI project that we're entering into.
Okay.
As part of the the LED streetlights.
Okay.
We're going to use this as an opportunity to roll them into it.
All
In
right.
fact, we have a meeting scheduled specifically about lighting for next Monday.
Okay.
With JCI.
Because I envision we would probably go something a little more similar to our stop signs, correct? As far as,
The pole will be exactly the same. That's how we've planned it. And then, if you'll notice, the top of the poles have an acorn on it. The lights will be an acorn shape.
okay,
And I envision them being a single globe. There are some that are double globed acorns, but we envision it being a single globe.
okay.
Actually, I could provide you some pictures of what we anticipate it looking like.
It's going to put off enough light that,
Yeah,
I mean,
and
because
there'll be
right now,
LED
most of those are, they have 2 lights on most of those down there
Right.
now.
And there's 77 of them.
Yep,
There'll be a lighting study, a lumen study
Okay.
done to determine if we need to go back pole for pole. We don't anticipate that we will, that we'll be able to reduce the number of poles because of the more lumens that the LEDs will put out. Even with double lights on there, it's very dingy yellow
Yep.
light. We expect it to be considerably brighter with the LEDs.
okay. The only other one I had, and it goes back to our stop sign, stop light, whatever we want to call it, on 11th Street by Emergency Services Building. So as our fire trucks will be pulling out onto the road, you know, when they are pulling out on the west side, I believe there's a whole row of trees there still that are, during the summer, pretty heavily, you know, are we gonna trim those back, or?
We
are
have actually removed some of those from
Okay.
what they originally were.
Yep.
And, you know, in visiting with Chief Rorosky, he thought that they were okay the way they are. But if they prove differently, we'll remove them. We
Well,
won't
that just
trim
kind of
them.
was going into, if we don't get approved through KDOT to put a stoplight up there,
Yeah.
or something along those lines,
Well-
what's our secondary plan with, because that's just gonna be an obstruction.
Right. Now, obviously, the truck's set up higher.
Sure.
So the vision's a little better. But that is something that we have already removed, city crews have already removed, I can't say how many, but
Yeah.
multiple. And if we deem that we need to do something else, we'll remove the rest of them. We wouldn't just trim them.
Yep, okay, good. That's all the questions I had.
I forgot to make one quick announcement, too. Today was the Renews Job Fair.
Yes.
And went out there today, and just wanted to say kudos to the community because they were really impressed with Coffeyville. Number one, with the job applicants, they ran out of applications, so I had to run to the office and make copies. So lots of applicants came in, so that was a little overwhelming to them. And then they also mentioned that just every purchase they've made, every call they've needed, anything they've needed has gone so smooth and fast that they're not used to it as compared to other communities, I guess. And so they were really, really impressed with Coffeyville.
That's
So I
great,
just wanted to let
yeah.
you guys know that.
I know when go ahead, sorry, Justin.
Did I see that they're cutting it off because they have had so many?
They had so many, they said, we can't even talk to you guys, you know, leave an application and, you know, we'll have
Yeah.
HR look through them. But yeah, they had an overwhelming response, so,
That's encouraging.
yeah. it was
Yeah, I
really
know
good.
when I left at 3:30, 4 o'clock today, and there was still
Yeah.
25 cars probably sitting over there.
There was no place to park.
Yeah,
I
there
couldn't-
was, it was, and that was after I'd read the Facebook post saying that they were cut off. So I was like, I can't imagine what it was an hour before, so.
Yeah.
Candy, when is your event tomorrow?
Which,
The,
for the legislator?
yeah.
At
the governor.
It's at Windsor Place at 10:30.
Okay.
Or
Yes.
10:30 or 10? 10:30?
I think it's 10:30 is
I
what
think it
they
was
put out.
10:30, okay. So, yeah, and it'll be in that back, the back door of the Windsor Event Center, not the front doors.
Okay.
So, yeah.
Right.
Mayor, if I could.
Yes.
I'd be remiss to not mention Delise Downing and the Ravens
Absolutely.
volleyball team.
Yeah.
National champions. So congratulations to
Yes.
Coach Downing and her team, and to President Moley and everybody at the college.
About 12 years.
Quite an accomplishment. That's,
We had a national champion. It's good to see. I help with recruiting and other stuff. I think it'll help grow Coffeyville to for a better place. I think we just give more attention to the college than they're already getting. So.
Absolutely.
Yep. Very good job. Very good job. Any other questions from the commission?
Well, I think, I might say something. I went to the Montgomery County Action Council meeting the other day, and when was that, Kendall?
It would have been Thursday of
Before last.
2 weeks ago.
Yeah. After our last meeting.
Yes.
And it was really, Trish Burton put on a nice presentation. I think all those facts are probably on their website. I don't know that. This isn't an official announcement or anything, but a statement, but it was obvious that there's a lot of work going into that thing. A lot of information to get. A lot of people out there talking good about it, bad about it, want it, don't want it, back and forth. But I would recommend to the citizens that you really learn about this thing, okay? It's going to be a while for different entities to make up their mind. We're looking at, Kendra, you could talk about it if you want, but there's a lot of stuff going on behind the scenes, a lot of work going on with that.
Almost, I would say almost daily.
I believe that.
And you're right, a lot of it is behind the scenes, but as we're able to release more public information, we have been, and this informational meeting for farmers or potential growers is one of those things. It's just another piece of the whole puzzle. City staff continues to work on the city's portion of utilities and things like that, and in fact, we've had some communication today with the Department of Ag about I'll say some meetings with the Department of Ag and the state of Kansas, apart from our meeting that we have planned with Tyson. I just ask citizens to be patient. It is not moving as fast as anybody hopes, but just because you're not seeing a lot or maybe hearing something doesn't mean things aren't happening, because literally it's nearly every day.
Our sales tax are down, projected to be down quite a little bit, and our city needs a boost. Everybody knows we've lost Amazon, AIW, the economy's down a little bit. It's kind of gaining, it seems like. Stock market doesn't mean much to the average person, but our town needs something, and I haven't made my decision totally about, because I want more information, okay, but we need something, and this is something we got to look at real hard, and they're working real hard on it, okay? The people in this area, there was a lot said at that Montgomery County Action Council, a lot of work going into it, and it's a very interesting thing, very interesting project, and I'm learning more and more all the time, and that's all I want to say. Thank you.
There was probably, we think, 60 people there.
Probably more, actually.
Yeah. And I think Trish was kind of prepared for some arguments, or it was pretty refreshing to see the majority was pretty positive about everything.
It was obvious by the turnout that people were there, to hear more about the Tyson project, and seeing a lot of new faces that aren't typically there. People are excited about it, and Commissioner Taylor was right. There was, and you were right. It wasn't not a lot of negativity. Some questions. People want information, but I think everybody sees it as a positive step forward.
Absolutely.
Good. Any other comments from the commission? Nope. Seeing none, I'll make a motion to adjourn our meeting.
Second.
Motion was made by Mayor Bauer and seconded by Commissioner Taylor to adjourn. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.